Hello, hello, seventh graders, and it's a rainy Sunday morning. And welcome to your writing class for Module 3 in the second trimester. Now, if we go back a little bit and do a review, we have been working on identifying the thesis statement, and I cannot stress enough how important this is. You really got to understand how thesis statement works because your entire piece is going to revolve around your thesis statement. So if you haven't watched that tutorial video, if you're still struggling with thesis statement, you're going to want to go back and watch it because in fact, some of the answers to the questions that are showing up in this assignment are actually in that tutorial. Okay, so let's go right into it. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be writing the last paragraph, the conclusion. We already have the introductory paragraph where the thesis statement is found. And in your last assignment, you were asked to write a second paragraph. And now we're going to go into writing the final third conclusion paragraph. Now, something important you need to remember. You need to follow instructions and you need to pay attention. If you have been paying attention, you would immediately know where to find a thesis statement. Now remember, in seventh grade, we're dealing with descriptive essays, essays that describe something. So when you read the paragraph, you look to see what is it that I am going to describe. That's your thesis statement. And now with the second paragraph, it's even easier. Now, a few observations. When I ask you to write a second paragraph, it's not some random second paragraph of some topic. No, you need to stick to the topic. And secondly, your second paragraph does not have an additional title. That's not how it works. So when I ask you for a title, that title goes at the top. That's the title of the entire composition or essay that you're writing. The first paragraph is the introduction. The thesis statement is in the introduction. The second paragraph is the continuation of the first paragraph. So when I mention what I'm going to describe, your second paragraph is going to describe the thing that I said I was going to describe. Do not write a completely different paragraph that's disconnected from the first one. And the third paragraph is simply going to be a conclusion. What means is that you can use the word in conclusion or finally or to end this, but you cannot just assign a different title to it and randomly write a third paragraph that's not the conclusion. What do I write in the conclusion? For that last paragraph, you're going to go back to the introduction and simply mention again the thesis statement, but using other words. Okay? That's how you write your conclusion. You go back to your introductory paragraph, you read again the thesis statement, and you just mention it again in the conclusion, but using different words. Let me give you an example. We're going to look at what I have on my screen. Let me share that with you. And on my screen, you're going to see the two paragraphs. If you already watched that tutorial, and if you haven't, please do that because I am going to know immediately whether you watched it or not, just based on your answers in this one. Okay, so I have my first paragraph, that's my introduction. This is a descriptive composition or essay, so I am telling you what I am going to describe, and that is my thesis statement. So you find the thesis statement and you know, oh, the second paragraph is going to be describing this, and that happens. And then you write the conclusion. So let's read what we have so far. Many of my friends dream about being old enough to buy their first car. A car represents freedom. It means you no longer have to depend on public transportation or your parents to go where you want to go. Some people believe that before you can see something good happening to you, you need to dream it first. This is what my dream car would look like. Now, people, it's very, very clear what the thesis statement is. The thesis statement is telling me what I am going to describe in the second paragraph. Let's read the second paragraph. It says, my dream car would be red and have very shiny hubcaps. It would hover over the streets so the tires never wear out. I would make sure to get somebody to paint flames on both sides and a large pot of gold on the hood. The car would only have space for me and another passenger, and the lights would be bright enough to light up a whole block. Good. So, based on that second paragraph, if you had any confusion about what the thesis statement is in the first paragraph, now you know. The thing that I said I was going to describe, I described it. Now, this is what you need to do. This essay is based on me describing the thing that's described in the second paragraph. For my third paragraph, I can say in conclusion, and I go back and I look for my thesis statement and I repeat it. In conclusion, blah, 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 blah. My conclusion, my third paragraph is not going to be very long. You repeat your thesis statement, you add a few things to it just to make the reader remember what it is that you're writing about. So your assignments are the following. First, you have to underline the thesis statement. If you watch that tutorial video, this should be absolutely no problem. You underline the thesis statement. Second, you write a creative title for the entire composition. Your title goes here. So where I have written 7th, that's where your title would go. What would be a good title? Something like Dreams Come True, for example. Now, when you write your title, you can do one of two things. You write it completely in capital letters, or every word of your title is capitalized in English, not in Spanish, in English. Every word of your title starts with a capital letter, or you just capitalize the entire thing. That's how you write your titles. Pay attention to that. Every word in your title is capitalized. Or you can just capitalize everything, write it in capital letters. Either of those two options are correct. If you do anything else, like just capitalizing the first word and just everything else in lowercase, that's not correct. Not in English. In English, it works differently. So you underline the thesis statement, you write a creative title and you put it up here where it says 7th. That's where your title goes. Your title doesn't go in front of your last paragraph. It goes way at the top. And then you're gonna write a short conclusion that's 40 to 50 words. How do you count your words? Again, you do this and you look to the bottom, and Word tells you that this one has 69 words. That's how you count your words. So you write a short conclusion that has 40, no less than 40, and no more than 50 words. And then you're gonna count the entire piece, including the title. So then you're gonna count the title, the introductory paragraph, the second paragraph, the paragraph you're gonna write, and you are gonna give me the word count of the whole thing, not just the one you wrote. I know how many words are gonna be in the one you wrote. Give me the word count of the entire piece, all 3 paragraphs and the title, the entire piece. How many words are in there? Now, after you have done this, you upload this as a Word document. Don't send me a video. Don't send me an audio. Just upload it as a Word document. That's all I'm asking. If you're gonna give me an introductory page, which you don't have to do, but if you wanna do it, don't invent words. This is called a subject, not a signature. That doesn't exist. And if you're gonna write my name on it, which you're not required to do, please spell my name correctly, please. If you don't know how to spell my name, just don't write it. You don't have to. I'm not asking you for an introduction page, okay? So upload this as a Word document, not PDF, as a Word document. What do? I copy paste your answers, I put them on the platform, and I give you my corrections. People, after you have received your grade, go back and read the corrections. Now, some of you have been making the exact same mistake in every assignment. You know what that means? It means that you are not paying attention to my observations. So no learning has occurred. Secondly, some of you are asking other people to do this for you. You know what that means? You are not learning. Even if you don't have enough vocabulary to write a decent paragraph, send me your work, not your neighbor, your brother, your sister, or your mom's co-worker. Send me your work. I need to see your work, because what's happening is that a lot of you, you're sending me these wonderful paragraphs that are written way above your level. And then in the introduction, you make mistakes. You don't write the word writing correctly, and you invent words. So that tells me that you did not write that paragraph. Or when you send me your spelling audio, I can see that you struggle to pronounce words. So you did not write that paragraph. Make sure you are the one who is doing this work. It's much more important to learn than to get a good grade. Good grades are important. Get good grades. But what you want to do is to learn. Learning is what you need to do. And if you're having somebody do all this work for you, two things. First, most of the work that people are doing for you is not correct because they're not paying attention to the video. And secondly, you are not going to learn. So do this by yourself, and also remember the little observations that I write in your on the platform when you upload your work. Pay attention to them. And of course, I can see who is paying attention and who isn't, because it's obvious. Do this. If you have any questions, you can send me an email to itmustbeenglish@gmail.com. Itmustbeenglish@gmail.com. Send me your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Remember, a Word document, and do your own work. Follow the instructions, pay attention to what you're doing, watch the previous video, the tutorial, and it's gonna be, you know what I want? My dream is for every single one of you that turns in this assignment to finally understand this, so that everybody gets a really good grade. And those of you who've been stuck on the 2s and the 3s, you finally, get that good grade, because that's gonna show me that you really understood. Okay, thank you so very much. Let me end by telling you that I'm super proud of all of you, especially those of you who are doing your own work. Even if you make a lot of mistakes, that's how you learn. The issue here is not getting a good grade. Good grades are important, get those. But here, the important thing is for you to learn. Thank you so much. See you next time.